Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Katharyne. And I thought, as I've been gone for a little while and I didn't exactly have the best Christmas ever, that I would make a short video to just talk about what happened and to celebrate that I'm back. Yay! So if you are in my Facebook groups or you're friends with me on Facebook, you kind of already have a grip of the story. And forgive me because this is kind of a personal video, just so I can check in with you all. I am getting back into all the work things. If you are in our Facebook groups, you'll see I've been posting style references for Midjourney every day, talking about all the latest things happening in AI. And there are so many cool things happening right now. There's DeepSeek, Alibaba have just put out their AI, Midjourney have got version 7 on the way, and I'm getting deep into learning some really interesting stuff with the AI that I hope I can share with you all very, very soon. Isaac and I are working behind the scenes, very much behind the scenes, on a whole bunch of new things for tangent templates, AI things, all kinds of cool stuff to help you with your business. So do watch out for that because that is all going to be coming soon. But I am also learning how to relax, how to sleep, how to take it easy, because I got really, really sick. I got really sick over Christmas. So this is what happened. I'm doing a lot better now. Everything is under control and I am here and with you all. But what happened was we went on vacation with the family. So we drove out to Las Vegas just before Christmas. Everything seemed great. I had an awesome clown show a couple of days before with my clown girl group Crazy Eyes in Los Angeles, and we were awesome. But that was really, really fun. So December 23rd, we dropped Zippy off at the pet care boarding. It's a great place in San Diego called Fon John's. I super recommend them, especially if you have a big dog. They're really, really good with big dogs. And we dropped Zippy off and headed out to Las Vegas. And we were all ready to have a really fun Christmas, celebrate Sid's birthday on Christmas Eve. And that went well. We had a nice Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, oh my gosh, I woke up. I was feeling sick. I had flu. I was run down, not feeling too great. So we sent the kids out. They went to the Hello Kitty Cafe, which was really fun. So they got to have a fun day. They went and got ice cream. And by kids, my kids now are, Sid is 16 and Autumn is 23 and Midnight's 21. So they're actually kind of grown up now. But they had a really, really nice day. And then I was just not feeling good. So the next day, Boxing Day, day after Christmas, we drove back to San Diego. I kind of slept in the car. I was like, oh, this is a horrible flu. And we got home and I had another day at home. Then I started throwing up. Sorry, too much information. But yeah, it sort of turned into what I thought was stomach flu at home. And I was getting really sick. And that's kind of the last thing I remember was that evening. So that was probably the next day. And then apparently what happened, we went to bed. The next morning, I was not with it at all. I was kind of losing consciousness, rambling, my legs turned purple, and I was in a pretty bad state. So Isaac called 911 and the ambulance came and rushed me into the hospital pretty quick. Apparently they hauled me out of the house in a big bag because they couldn't get the stretcher through the house. So that was interesting. So I was hauled off to hospital very, very quickly. And I was not in a good state when I got to the hospital. So they worked on me, and what they found, they said, she's diabetic, right? And Isaac's like, not that I know of, no. And it turned out I was in a state called DKA, and it was pretty severe DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis. Let me check that. Yes, that's what it's called, ketoacidosis. And basically, it's like when your body can't produce insulin anymore and your blood sugar gets super, super high because your body can't access any sugar or carbs for fuel. It starts eating all the fat in your body. And this is a very bad state. Then you start producing ketones. It puts a ton of stress on your kidneys and on your body. And this was what was happening to me. And I was in a bad state. I had hypothermia and I was completely out of it. So they stabilized me. My blood sugar was at 600, which apparently is crazy, crazy high. And they said I've probably been diabetic for at least 4 months. It could have been much longer. It could have just been 4 months. They don't really know. They said it's very unusual to, and it's type 1 diabetes, which is interesting. They said it's very unusual to get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as an adult. Usually people progress to type 2 diabetes, but nope, I got type 1. But it's not that rare because what I found, I've been finding some great communities online. And I found actually quite a lot of people who have been diagnosed around a similar age to me or even older. So that was kind of interesting to learn. So they discovered that I am type 1 diabetic and they stabilized me and they put me into ICU. And I was in ICU for 4 days. I had crazy delirium. I don't remember anything up until New Year's Day, pretty much when they took me out of ICU. So I have some very vague memories, and it felt very dreamy of what happened in ICU, but very, very vague. I didn't really become aware of anything until New Year's Day. And poor Isaac, he stayed with me almost the whole time. They strapped me down to the bed because I kept trying to get up apparently, and do things and tried to rip tubes out and all kinds of things. Apparently I was a rather resistant patient. Again, no memory of any of this. But Isaac's told me some very funny stories, like me waking up and being like, oh no, why am I tied to the bed? And he was like, shh, just pretend you're at Torture Garden. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went back to sleep, which, yeah, sorry if that's TMI, but I thought that was very, very funny. And they kept asking me so many questions. They're like, Katharyne, what's your last name? And I'm just like, huh? And Katharyne, what is the year? And I had literally no idea how years work. Anyway, he said, ask her about her dog. And they said, Katharyne, what kind of dog do you have? And I said, he's big and black and fluffy. So I remembered that. So all the important details were there. So yeah, happy to say I think my brain is fully back and functional now, hopefully as good as it ever was. So I feel very lucky for that, learning some big brain AI stuff as we speak. So that's really, really cool. So I kind of came around New Year's Day when they moved me into a regular hospital room. And all I wanted to do then was watch Spanish television. So I was just, for whatever reason, we watched the Rose Parade with Spanish commentary, which I enjoyed. And then we watched Jurassic Park in Spanish. And I should note that I don't really understand Spanish. Like, I do Duolingo for a couple of years, but it's very hard to hear a language. And so, but for some reason, I enjoyed that. And then I started to kind of become much more aware of things and get my brain back, which was nice. And they came in and they explained. We had a lovely diabetic educator called Heather, and she was so sweet. She came in and she spent a few hours with me off and on, trying to explain to me how things worked. And it was very hard for me to understand at that point. It took a while for my brain to come back. But she explained to me that insulin is basically like a Pac-Man. So I have to keep injecting myself with insulin every time I eat carbohydrates, which is pretty much every meal. It's not things like chicken and cheese. Those are fine. But anything with carbohydrates, I have to inject myself with insulin. And she explained the insulin basically eats up the sugar and processes it in a way that my cells can use it. So I'm getting my fuel from food. And so basically it's like my body isn't trying to eat itself anymore, which is a good thing. So yeah, I've learnt a lot in a very short time. It's been like 2 weeks since I came out of hospital. No, 3 weeks since I came out of hospital. It's been just over a month since all of this started and I was taken into the hospital. So it's definitely been a learning curve. I've learned that I have to avoid stress. It's very important. They actually say different things could trigger this. Two of the big culprits, one is stress and one is potentially viruses. So the fact I had flu seemed like it triggered the DKA episode. I also got really bad ear infections, which sucked. So I got a perforated eardrum. So I've kind of lost a lot of hearing in this ear. And I'm hoping it'll come back, but we will see. If it doesn't, I'm not super worried. I know that there's a lot of help with hearing now. There's a lot of different hearing aids, so that's a good thing. And overall, I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky and very grateful that I'm alive and well. I feel very grateful to the staff at Scripps Memorial Hospital, especially the nurses, who were just absolutely amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. They were finding me meals in the middle of the night. One of them called up for hair detangler for me. Like, they were just anything they could do. They were so sweet and so kind. So, yeah, very grateful to them. And I'm very grateful that I've been diagnosed now when there's so much technology to help with diabetes. Like, for example, I have this cool monitor on my arm. There you go. You can see that. And this is a monitor by Dexcom. And what it does is it tracks my blood sugar. Every 5 minutes, it updates on my phone and it tells me what my blood sugar level is. And it has this little arrow to tell me if it's going up or if it's going down. So I can really monitor where my blood sugar's at. And that's super important because if it goes up, that's really bad for my body in the long run. And that affects my immune system and a whole bunch of things. So I really need to keep my blood sugar down to a manageable level. But also, I have to monitor that my blood sugar doesn't go too low, which at the moment is happening maybe a couple of times a day. And if that happens, then I have to go and eat something sweet. I can eat glucose tablets, or I can eat things like oranges, strawberries, which I kind of prefer to do, because they're yummy and they're super healthy. So we've really changed our diet. We're eating fish every day, which is actually awesome. And Isaac is an incredible cook, which is really, really cool. So we're eating lots of veggies, lots of fish, fruit, and just trying to have a healthy diet. The other thing I found is that exercise really keeps my blood sugar down. So we're walking a lot. We take Zippy for a super long walk on the beach every night, which is really nice. So in a way, it's kind of given me time to sort of step back and make positive changes in our lifestyle. There's a lot of things I'm missing. I'm missing the clown community in LA, which has been really, really fun for the last year, but hopefully I'll get to go back to that at some point. It's also allowing me to focus on studying on AI, which I'm really, really interested in. There's so many interesting things happening on that level at the moment, and things that I really want to go deeper on. So I'm learning a lot more in depth on various things with AI, again, that I hope to share with you all very, very soon. It feels really positive for me to just be making a video. Like, I wasn't really feeling up to making a video for a week or two. Now I feel pretty good. I'm walking, I'm exercising, eating well, and I'm here making videos. So I'm really back. And yeah, if you're not in our Facebook groups, do come and join us. I'm posting a lot, especially in the AI group. So do come and join that group if you're not in it. But yeah, I figured I would just take some moments to sort of share what happened. It was a big shock, especially for my kids. I kind of wish they didn't have to see that. And it was an interesting wake-up call for me to just come that close to not being here. And yeah, that's I think the suddenness of it as well. Like, just that something like that could happen so suddenly. Like, one minute I think I've just got flu and I'm just feeling terrible with flu, and the next I'm literally waking up in an ICU room and trying to understand what happened. So I would also say I learned a few things. One, I learned that fruit juice is just terrible for you. I always thought that juice was super healthy. I drank tons of it, which probably wasn't great. But I learned juice is not good. It's just really, really full of sugar. So it's better to just eat fruit. I learned not to talk negatively to yourself. I feel like last year I wasn't always in the best place mentally. And I think I said some pretty unkind things to myself and wished harm upon myself. And that is interesting because I feel like my body listened to that, which I also take something positive from that, because I'm like, well, if my body can listen to harmful thoughts, then it can also listen to positive thoughts. So I can tell myself that I can do great things and achieve great things and do awesomeness. And I think my body can listen to that as well. So be careful what you say to your body, because I think it really does listen. And that is something I learned. The same with stress. I think don't let yourself get stressed. And the other thing I want to say, and I don't want to be too lectury, but oh my gosh, if you've been putting off going to see a doctor, please go. Like, you think you have all the time in the world. It's like, oh, if I get sick, it'll be a slow thing and I can go when I feel like it or when I'm ready. This hit me out of the blue. And maybe if I'd gone to see a doctor a little bit earlier and just had a general checkup, maybe some of it could have been avoided. So yeah, and I don't want this to happen to anyone else. So I heard this great quote from Ram Dass, and I heard this just a day or two actually after I came home. And one of his students asked him, like, what would you do if this was the Armageddon and the world was ending and everything was terrible? And he said, whether this is the first day of the apocalypse or whether we're in a beautiful Aquarian age, the work remains the same: to love each other and ease as much suffering as possible. And I thought that was such a great idea. Just, it doesn't really matter. There's a lot outside of us that we can't control. So what can we do is just practice kindness, practice love, take care of each other. And so that I found a lot of comfort in, especially given the very strange world that is happening right now. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. I will be making more videos about tech, about books, about AI very soon. As I say, I'm studying a lot, doing a lot of research right now, and I have so much I want to talk to you guys about. So I will be back with more videos very soon. Thank you for all of the kind words, all of the stories. I love hearing positive, happy stories about people with type 1 diabetes living long, happy lives, which I have been assured is very, very possible and which I hopefully intend to do. So yeah, it's great to be back with you guys, and I will be back soon with more videos. And if you're not, come and join our Facebook groups, because I'm posting in there every single day. I love you guys, and I am just so happy to be back. Please take care of yourselves. All right, see you soon.